Hello everyone, welcome to Intraverso Entertainment. My name is Marcelo. We're gonna look at the manual I use internally, but tuned up with a bunch of processes I finally finished. An important point, whenever you want to create things with artificial intelligence, but you've never been part of a creative environment in the graphic or visual side, especially in storytelling, the underlying problem is that you don't know the codes to create something that's a story, a solid story. In this sense, as a trainer and being very eager for the community to grow, I'm going to share what I call a demo of the extensive manual I'm creating for everything multimedia. Obviously, in future presentations, I'll add how from this whole world of classic analog digital, we move to integrate generative tools. Because without understanding the former, I repeat, it's not that you can't, but you shouldn't move forward on this path. You have to understand how a fiction is actually built, what's needed for storytelling to be storytelling and not just something superficial. So without further ado, what I want to share with you today is the first manual structure that I'm contributing to the community from Intraverso Entertainment. And if you're interested in having this manual, just let me know in the comments that you want it. Send me a message on this social network where the video is and ask for it. I'll do a quick walkthrough of what's in the manual, so you can then ask for the high-resolution PDF, which will be in either English or Spanish. What we're going to see now is the Spanish version. I'm not going to show the manual twice, but you'll receive the manual in the language that applies to you. Let's move on to my beloved manual, and this manual is specifically aimed at going to the past to understand it well, to keep training with the tools of the past. It doesn't matter if you think you can't draw. You have to train yourself to draw. And then how with what you learn, you can control artificial intelligence using all the tools that, fortunately, are growing within any of the generative image and video models we have today. And we start obviously with a little cover. But the first thing you'll find in the manual is this workflow. Now, the first manual is oriented towards static, graphic, sequential narrative art. In other words, what we commonly call comics, manga, or historietas in some countries. At Intraverso Entertainment, in Entrenarte, we start building our knowledge of storytelling mastery from comics. So, to keep it brief, what you have first is a workflow oriented toward that product, the comic strip. Now, this workflow, up to the point where we start working on the pages, is 100% the same in any other branch of storytelling. It's even applied in this studio for musical theater, or for classical theater, or for cinematography, or for whatever. I'm moving to the next page, which already starts with that diagram. This diagram will be broken down and explained in the rest of the pages. So we're going to go through understanding how we get from a general idea, what mechanics I recommend for reaching a general idea, how to start transforming that general idea into something scriptable, and how to transform all the elements of these ideas and steps into characters that are people, the synthetic fictional person, and then they transform into a true ecosystem of elements that, tied to the environment, which is one more character, well, can become a truly compelling, lasting story. That, if all goes well, will sooner or later find its audience through the great base construct for the story. Meaning, in this context, refers to all the various elements and components that come together to make it a story that can be told, shared, and experienced. It includes the dynamic and evolving framing of that story through written expression, especially in a narration that is accompanied by both audio and visuals. The way in which what is written and what can be told with words is also anchored and supported by the visuals, and how these two forms of communication, words and images, complement, enhance, and reinforce each other to achieve a significant and memorable impact on the other person, the audience, or the viewer. This interplay between narration and visuals is essential for creating a truly engaging and impactful story. From the timeline, through the tree of that constellation, going to the breakdown of the mini-book to be able to do the conceptual graphic design of all our content, character design, setting, and going through everything that is the sketch to be able to do an interesting pre-production. This content will give you perspective to work from a more professional place and embark on a path with artificial intelligence and with all the tools that build storytelling in a much more concrete way, much more tied to what will empower you. For AI to empower you, you first have to empower yourself with the experience of researching. You can't avoid researching, you can't avoid studying, you can't avoid growing. Don't expect to enter the field of generative intelligence, whether it's text, image, audio, music, or whatever, without studying. So without saying much more, and so the video fits on LinkedIn, what I want is that if you are interested, to have this manual, if you'd like to receive this content and this material, all you have to do is send me a private message saying, I want the manual, and I'll send it to you, either in Spanish or in English. The content has many years of experience summarized in just 27 pages, but with that document, you can already get started. I'll be sharing these manual demos little by little. Later on, I'll share with you how you can have my company one-on-one and in very small groups online, so that we can continue working with these concepts and you can continue developing your original material with someone who will help you understand how that would apply to any type of entertainment structure. Whether we want to make a movie with digital synthetic people, or we want to make a comic, manga, whatever you want to do, a board game. At Entrenarte, at Intraverso Entertainment, I can help you understand it and do it, because I do it every day in the studio. So, and of course, if you want to use a generative tool with artificial intelligence that has it all, you have to stop by OpenArt, because OpenArt, the link is in the description, is the best space to iterate and build products that tell stories. It's a great space from an economic standpoint, from the people who run it. So anyway, I'll leave you with a huge greeting. The links are in the description, and if you want the manual, give me a shout and I'll send it to you. Have a beautiful and creative life, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, people. Take good care.